Hey everybody, welcome back to One Piece chapter 1133, titled Praise Me. So, I am reviewing a lot of the Elbath arc in very rapid fire way. I'll just reread the chapter, remember some of the important things, and then just kind of read through the chapter and point out things while talking about it. And this is a short chapter. There is not a lot to talk about. I know what happens in this chapter, but as far as like plots and stuff is confirmed, not a whole lot happened. Now, I've read this chapter multiple times. I consider it one of the best chapters in One Piece. And as I was rereading some of this parts, just thinking about what I wanted to say, I started tearing up. We cut over to Yamato and Oni Child Yamato in the Holy Inari Shrine pilgrimage as Hold'em has uh, captured Tama and is like, "Give me all your belongings." We go and a flashback of 22 years ago, the incident at Ohara. Um, we see as Spondim's dad is spreading rumors on how Robin is this horrible person. We see random civilians saying, "I saw her! She had the eyes of a stone cold killer!" She would stay in trash or stay with dogs. People would come at her saying, "Don't hold back just because she looks young." She would stay with people, but they'd kick her out whenever they knew what she was. Everyone was looking for her, and she has a scholarly and and nobody had any empathy for her. They say she is the enemy of the world. We look as Robin, who is like 6 years old, walks to the edge of a cliff, and her a flashback goes out in her head as her mother calls out, "Live, Robin." She is at the edge of this cliff and crying. It goes to Saul and says, "Listen, Robin, you're all alone right now, but someday, without a doubt, you will find true friends." As Robin, this little girl, is still standing at the cliff and says, "But Saul, I'm scared. I'm so scared of everyone." The words of Saul continue going through her head. "When things are unbearable, remember what I taught you. Laugh just like this. Dara she. As she is just minding her own business, reading a newspaper, and somebody sees her and she has to start running. And people are talking about the rumors, saying, "I hear she uses our childlike appearance to lure in souls, only to slit their throats in her sleep. A little shit like that should snuff it. I hope she drops dead. Get lost." We cut over to Elbath. All the Straw Hats meet back up. They're celebrating. We have Road tied up and crucified. And honestly, there are so many words here, and I don't care. Everyone's, hey, food, drinks, laughter, all that, and everyone's celebrating Luffy being here. And they see the Owl Library. It is a place where all of the books of Elbath are held, which, these are the books covered from the Library of Ohara. Those scholars did not die in vain, as they were recovered by Dr. Vegapunk and brought to Elbath. And Robin and the Straw Hats go to meet Saul. There he is, passed out. But Robin just laughs to herself. She goes up and Saul jumps up trying to scare her and starts laughing. But just like when she was a little girl, it didn't surprise Robin. But whereas Robin was confused then, here Robin just has a smile on her face. And Saul just starts talking and holding her and saying, "Let me get a good look at your face. You've grown as pretty as Olivia. You look just like her." And as one of the few people who've actually seen both Robin and Olivia, being Saul, Robin only now realizes that she is the spitting image of her mom. We see that Saul has a peg leg. I didn't even notice that. We got to some more words of flashback flashback Olivia. "We cannot give up on the future you will live in. You will understand someday." Saul talks about Vegapunk's words and starts talking about those words were O'Hara's legacy. They were supposed to have been buried in history, left to vanish without anyone hearing. Yet the voices of the scholars were passed on. Vegapunk was a true scientist. He refused to preach about right and wrong, but in the end, he still risked his life to tell everyone. O'Hara and Vegapunk took a huge leap of faith. I'm sure their sacrifices will shape the future. Robin says, "Yeah, yours too." And he talks about escaping and all the awful things that the government said. Robin just cuts her off and says, Robin just cuts him off and says, "Not focus on the dark stuff. Hey, Saul, aren't you going to praise me for being alive?" As Saul says, "She, of course I am. A kid like you against the whole world. You did great staying alive, Robin. 22 long years. Thank you for being a survivor. I'm so glad we're able to meet again after all this time." As we get a and as Robin is hugging Saul, we get a flashback of that 6-year-old Robin on the cliff. "Professor, Mom, Saul, why am I the only one who has to live? I can't stand it. I want to die. I missed you so much, Saul. Darashi, I missed you too." When I read this chapter first, I teared up a little, and I'm like, that was nice. And I watched the reviews and I reread it, but actually reading those words out loud, one thing which I think hits me the most is that when this chapter came out, I learned that a friend of mine had been watching One Piece and just got through Enies Lobby. So sort of me and this friend who both knew stuff about One Piece, full of in a Discord call of a bunch of people who didn't know anything. I just started saying "Dara she," and me and my friend started saying that together. As my friend was thinking about Robin wanting to live in Saul's sacrifice, but I was thinking about this. And that has been one of my favorite moments as a One Piece fan. But yeah, in terms of plots, this episode isn't important. There's a whole section with micro panels shoving in 50 billion things, but I don't care. Like, oh man, there's Lilith talking about how technology, tons of technology coexists here. Like how the hover shoes will be able to. I don't care. Because this is the chapter that shows Robin and Saul reuniting, and I cannot wait for that episode to get dubbed for me to cry all over again. See you back at One Piece chapter 1134 titled The Owl Library. See you guys then.